Without uttering a single new word, Kendrick Lamar simply rocked the music industry. He transformed Humble. The song that once put him at the top of the game turned into something with a single surprising move. Drake has never managed to pull off a culture-shifting, legacy-defining explosion that broke records, silenced skeptics, and sent fans into a frenzy. There was no rollout, no fanfare, no features, just a stealth bomb that blew up the charts act. And the competition was embarrassing. According to insiders, it's the best hip-hop resurrection of a classic song ever. Even Drake's crew is in disbelief about what transpired next, according to industry executives. Because, let's face it, how often has a 2017 song returned and caused this much harm? This is the part that no one anticipated. It wasn't remixed by Kendrick. Bars were not added by him. K fixed it. What was included with it? A startling new let's take a step back before we get into the pandemonium that Kendrick just unleashed. The video, the hidden message, and the shocking ending have everyone wondering, did Kendrick just end the debate for good? Because this wasn't. A chance occurrence had been developing for years. Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been circling each other in the same arena like wolves for a long time. Both were experts in their fields, ruling various spheres of society, yet never coming to a complete collision in combat. Since the early 2010s, fans have been speculating about it. Around it, journalists danced. Rappers silently took sides, but everyone knew there was conflict. It wasn't a music contest. It was a conflict between legacy, vision, and ideals. Drake rose to prominence on the charts. Radio anthem after radio anthem, stream after stream, creating a dynasty based on mainstream appeal and relatability. That Kendrick was constructing something more profound, impact-based, and slower. He has no intention of being the loudest. He was creating a message that would endure beyond all of them. And at the core of that message was Humble, which was more than simply a hit when it was released in 2017. It was a warning shot shrouded in piano keys and silent wrath, a cultural earthquake. Take a seat and be modest, straightforward, and memorable. People believed it was directed at the rap game at the time. Some said it was a subliminal directed at Drake, but Kendrick never provided any proof. The numbers spoke for themselves. So he didn't need to add anything. Became Kendrick's first solo #1 on rhythmic radio. After debuting at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100, received over 1 billion views on YouTube, and won a Grammy for Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song. The weird part comes next. Kendrick never surfed the wave despite all of that success. He never tweeted bragging rights or republished statistics. Since humility wasn't the end goal for him, he simply kept going. It was the design. Let's talk about Drake in the meanwhile. Drake was topping the charts year after year, while Kendrick was taking a hiatus from solo releases. Her Loss, Scorpion, and The Certified Lover Boy are all performing amazing feats. However, there was always a cloud over him despite the sales. Where's the stuff? Why isn't his music more timeless than Kendrick's? Why hasn't he produced a moment that makes two pimps? Drake's supporters stood up for him. Kendrick's supporters retaliated. And the one song that remained silent and unflinching in the midst of it all was Modest. This is where things get crazy though. Prolong their life, keep them on the charts, and create new moments. Johnny Drake has previously re-released a number of his songs via live performances, streaming bundles, and alternate edits. However, none of them rekindled the culture, just like when they originally came out. Until Kendrick, none of them ever caused anyone to pause and ask, wait, what did he just do? So far, because people believed that Kendrick's re-upload of Humble, which is titled Humble Restored Edition, was at most a remaster, possibly a crisper mix. However, without altering a single word in the lyrics or adding even a single new bar. No one could have foreseen what happened next. In a visual assault, Kendrick challenged the notion that legacy is measured. He accomplished this by tying Humble to his actual $10 million gift to Compton High School. Yes, you heard correctly. Kendrick was reassembling classrooms as others flaunted their jewelry and jets. In addition to using Humble as the soundtrack for something much larger than a hit song, he created a high school by hand. And the repaired version is currently popular once more. It recently set new streaming records and is igniting discussions regarding Drake's whole career. As Kendrick just showed to the world, is that a song with a purpose will always have a greater impact than one with a playlist. What will happen next, Johnny? The true drama starts at that point. The real twist was that the internet was still processing what Kendrick had just done with Humble Restored Edition. This was more than more. Just a legacy tribute. Fans didn't realize it was a direct jab at Drake until a specific point in the footage ignited a conspiracy fire. The scene occurs just as the beat begins to drop again, 2 minutes and 34 seconds into the repaired version. Kendrick passes a locker with the word fake spray painted on it far too rapidly to notice. Numbers after them don't indicate impact. The internet went crazy. It's hardly a coincidence that a TikTok user submitted after zooming in on frame B, as you are all aware. Kendrick is criticizing Drake himself. The man has been dumping nothingness while selling millions. Kendrick is pursuing eternity rather than hits. After the post received 6 million views in a single day, the comment area abruptly descended into chaos. Compared to Drake's 4 albums, Kendrick conveyed more in 4 words. This is the kind of record Drake could never create. Years later. Talk again. Impact is not the new Control verse based on numbers. For a period, however, it didn't end there. False insider information began to circulate. According to one purported screenshot, a direct message from a member of Kendrick's team claimed that Drake attempted to purchase a documentary on Compton schools the previous year, but withdrew when Kendrick's name was mentioned. He's angry now. Funny was posted in a Discord group by another alleged insider. Kendrick anticipated Drake's deluxe. He intentionally dropped this. It was precisely timed. And you know what? They were correct. Drake was working on a follow-up release, the Scorpion Anniversary Edition, which included new artwork, a few demos, and previously unheard studio versions of shelf tracks, was scheduled to be released that same week. However, Restored Edition became the #1 song overnight after Humble. Silently, Drake pushed it back. Just removed from the schedule, no tweet, no publicity. Fans took note. He actually held his rollout since Kendrick breathed on a beat he already owned, according to a tweet with 9 OK likes. Another claimed that Kendrick flattened his tires and Drake wanted to spin the block. The drama really gets ugly here, though. Screenshots from a purported OO group discussion were published by a well-known music blog. One line in particular stood out in the tumultuous exchange. Someone who was thought to be 40 years old. Humble, wrote Drake's right-hand producer. We last month. 'Twas a warning shot. Drake replied with a single emoji. Was he referring to Kendrick as a clown, bro? It's self-aware irony, or was he making fun of the entire movement? Nobody is aware. However, just one emoji made news in the hip-hop press. Kendrick's regained humility prompts a response from Drake. Fans were split. Drake versus Kendrick. The fight for legacy just became personal. Silent surrender, or the clown emoji. When Kendrick's longtime collaborator Dave Free shared a picture of the modest video shoot on Instagram. With a whiteboard in the background, it fueled the flames even more. A few monarchs are buried in waterways. The fans went crazy. Lost it. TikTok artists started to speculate that Kendrick was orchestrating the entire drop as a secret disc masquerading as a party. He didn't mention Drake's name because he didn't have to, according to one widely shared video. It was all stated in the symbolism. The real king does not return the clap. All he does is walk taller. However, a private party-in-law was the target of the first real-world repercussion. Drake and Kendrick were reportedly invited to the same industry event, which was a closed-list celebration for a significant award show partner, according to sources. Pialom was present with Kendrick. Crew, relax. No entourage, Drake. He was observed leaving just 10 minutes after arriving later. Was leaked to a hip-hop page by an insider. He entered, nodded, then lowered when he saw Kendrick on the other side of the room. No, hi there, not even a handshake. There were rumors that their relationship had at last reached an irreversible stage. There's been respect between them for years, but now that might be done. Kendrick just moved the needle, and Drake isn't laughing about it, a well-known Drake affiliate stated live on Twitch that evening. And just when you thought that was it, a billboard appeared in downtown Toronto. No logos, just black text. Signed at the bottom, it said, "Impact can't be streamed. Bro PG Lang." Recently, Kendrick purchased a billboard in Drake City. That's chess, not just legacy. Kendrick still hadn't spoken though. No response, no interview, no tweet, just that silence. Compared to a diss, it was louder. Fans and industry. Insiders were certain that Kendrick wasn't only re-releasing Humble after the Toronto billboard went viral. He was announcing war. Furthermore, this was not the sort of online banter or diss-song conflict. No, Kendrick was fighting for his legacy. And without having to shout, each action was calculated, accurate, and deadly. However, what followed? No one anticipated it. Respected hip-hop journalist Samantha Pierce hosts an insider flip-dot on a late-night Twitter area, remarking that they had worked inside the OO machine. A startling voice joined in. Although the man did not disclose his true identity, he did have previous voice memos, audio snippets, receipts, and even documentation containing Meat Tad's unreleased song and his claim. Ever since Kendrick won the Pulitzer Prize, Drake has been fixated on legacy. Although he is aware that his catalog generates a lot of revenue, he secretly senses that void. Kendrick simply beat him to it once more, even though he wanted to do something significant but modest. After that space closed, blogs took off. Exovosaurus assertions beating Kendrick's legacy is Drake's obsession. According to an insider leak, Humble repaired Kendrick and destroyed Drake's next rollout rather than dissing. Then the unexpected celebrity reaction arrived. A portion of Kendrick's modestly restored film was published by LeBron James, the king himself, on his EIG narrative. Caption: "This is what happens when art and purpose come together." Fans of Mic Drop began referring to it as the royal cosign. Media outlets also joined in. ESPN aired "When King James chooses his hip-hop king, it's not Drake. Some people clap louder for your failure than their own win." Was that a shot at Brown, at Kendrick, or at fans? Nobody knew. Drake's recent sad gym selfie didn't help, but the damage was already done. The following mysterious message was then uploaded by a Reddit user under the Hippopods subreddit, revealing Kendrick's next action. If you wait until you hear the follow-up, if you thought Humble Restored was the end. It's a statement rather than a song, and it's performed live. Hold on, what? As it turns out, Kendrick was organizing a live performance project related to Humble. That would be held during the ribbon-cutting event at Compton High School. However, was not merely a local occurrence. There were rumors that streaming rights had been signed by HBO, YouTube, and Apple Music. And the worst part? The event was called Legacy Greater Than Streams, a live art piece organized by Kendrick Lamar, according to a leaked press brief. Humble was becoming a movement thanks to this man. Drake is still mute, but the fans aren't so sure. Theories exploded on TikTok. Did Kendrick just outperform Drake in terms of marketing? Why does Drake seem to have lost a feud that never even began? Kendrick did better than Drake without ever mentioning his name. The cherry on top and scary levels. There are so many threads on Twitter. Kendrick's rollout: 1 video, 1 billboard, 0 tweets. Drake's last 5 drops: 32 posts, 8 trailers, and 15 teases. Who's really winning? Underneath it, thousands of replies read one of the top posts. Some fans dragged out Drake's rollout history, while others defended his numbers, and a few mentioned ghostwriting. Then the real bombshell came. Apple Music changed Kendrick's artist page to feature Humble Restored instead of Humble, and Spotify put Humble Restored on 5 editorial playlists, something they did. Again, because of course they did. But one quote stood out and was reposted by multiple artists. Some artists go viral, some go eternal. Kendrick's 2017 song just beat Drake's 2023 lead single in 48 tower streams from the grave, was posted. On the industry analysis website, ChartTac, there was no promotional material. Drake released a full campaign for All the Dogs. Kendrick won with a new cut of an old video. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, Kendrick's team sent out a press email with just one sentence. Isn't the return? This is the reminder. What does that mean? Is Kendrick preparing a whole new album, a docuseries, or a public tour? Nobody knows, but we do know that he's not done. The public's reaction to Kendrick's modestly restored version was explosive, and Team Kendrick took over the internet. Twitter, now X, was a battlefield, and TikTok was a war zone. Everyone had something to say on Reddit, which was a library of receipts. One TikTok went viral with 8 million views, breaking it down as follows. Drake makes hits, Kendrick makes history. This is about weight now, and it's not about numbers anymore. Another creator turned it on its head with a humorous twist, and Drake is currently in the studio. Though not everyone agreed, Team Drake clapped back hard. Kendrick donated a school, while Drake donated a mediocre house track. Drake brought a song back to life and still dominated the game. This humble restoration received more attention than Drake's previous 3 albums combined. Although there was no one playing Humble in the club, the debates were intense, and then the celebrities jumped a Cole on his burner Twitter. Yes, fans know. Liked a lot. Humble was already a classic, and Kendrick only repackaged nostalgia. Drake remains relevant all year long. Screenshots, edits, and fan cams of Kendrick and Shaw's old collaboration suddenly trended on TikTok again. Cardi B reposted the Humble Restored video with fire emojis and pushed a T, going full savage, and tweeting, "This is what silence sounds like when it hits harder than a verse." However, the moment that really turned heads was when Shaw went live and said, "Kendrick's brain is different. He doesn't just drop songs, he drops eras. He doesn't care about flexing. He flexes by changing the temperature and the culture." Then, the award show fallout arrived. A rumor spread on Twitter via a screenshot of a leaked email. Bet is strongly considering giving Humble Restored a surprise nod at the Hip Hop Awards due to cultural impact. What? The Bet Hip Hop Awards recognizing a restored version of an old track over current chart toppers. Fans immediately split. This wasn't just a video, and it deserves it. This was a cultural reset. No, even if a remix is good, you can't give it an award. I love it when Kendrick breaks the rules. Drake even had 2 stands. Admit that if he wins for a song that's 6 years old, that might be the coldest flex in rap history. Throughout all of this, fans continue to watch, dotting every emoji, every lyric in his Instagram captions, and every cryptic post from 40. Some wanted silence, some wanted bars, and some simply wanted to know if Drake could pull through this without appearing desperate. Meanwhile, Kendrick remained silent and continued to win, just when the industry believed that he was finished. When Humble, the restored edition, had already made history. And when Drake fans were finally hoping that the storm would pass, Kendrick's team sent out one last He Chased hits. We Chased Home was the succinct, icy, and tragic remark that was posted on PG Lang's official X account at 11:59 p.m. A kingdom was founded by one of us. One created a playlist. The entire sector came to a halt. Just 28 words that seemed to be an epitaph to Drake's supremacy. No marketing. No hashtags. Additionally, fans argued over whether Kendrick truly authored one thing was evident. This was hardly a poetic conflict. It was structural. Drake created moments. Monuments were being built by Kendrick. Then, on a Twitch Live, the confession from inside the Six came. A songwriter who had contributed to Certified Lover Boy, one of Drake's lesser-known colleagues, unintentionally made a significant mistake. What's crazy, do you? We nearly used a snippet of Humble as a hook. There was a concept for it, I won't lie. We didn't follow through, but Drake felt it may be ironic. 40 believed it was too dangerous. Kendrick's own song was almost used in a Drake project, huh? The story is entirely altered if that is the case. It implies that Drake thought Humble was more than just a popular song. He perceived it as an impenetrable shadow. And Kendrick, he was aware of it. The true surprise, though, was when Johnny performed at Compton High School as part of Legacy Greater Than Streams Live, which was broadcast to more than 6 million people on YouTube and Apple Music. When Kendrick took the stage, he was dressed entirely in white. There was only one spotlight behind him. No flames, no dancers, no spectacle, and early pictures of black pupils. However, the screen jerked when the beat stopped and showed a quote that had never been seen before. Being superior to him was never the goal here. It was about demonstrating that you didn't have to be. Double quotations. Boom. The audience became quiet. The chat streams stopped working. Theories filled TikTok right away. Then it turned to black dot. Was Kendrick acknowledging that the dispute was one-sided and that he had never pursued Drake because he had always been pursuing something greater? The P-Long logo fades into the words Chapter 1 restored, with no encore or farewell. Chapter 2 was soon to be released. What does that signify? Will a complete album be released soon? A little movie? A documentary revealing the whole sector? We're not sure yet. However, one thing is evident. Not only did Kendrick bring Humble back to life, he changed Drake's and hip-hop's definition of legacy. He must make a decision, remain mute and fade, or clap back and run the chance of being humiliated once more. You've seen everything now. Humble's restoration did more than just bring back a beloved song. It changed the course of history. A dot. There was no diss single released by Kendrick Lamar. Drake was left stranded in the smoke after he dropped a legacy grenade. Impact only, no bars, no interviews. From Toronto's silent billboards to a hidden stage. Kendrick played chess in a world full of checkers during his performance in Compton. We must now inquire, however, if Kendrick put a formal end to the argument. Is Drake's dominance based more on streaming than on content? Before Kendrick's next outburst, not overlook the last message. Chapter 1 has been restored. Chapter 2 will be released soon. What comes next? Is it a visual album, a whole CD, or something larger? Put your theory aside in the comments at this moment. Should Drake say something or say nothing? Press the like button. Team Kendrick. If you're in for the battle, Team Drake, let us know in the comments. We assure you that is not the end, so please subscribe and enable notifications. And Johnny Chapter 2 might rock the industry's foundation if one was this strong. We might be discussing more than just a song the next time, so stay tuned. We could be discussing the end of an era,